Hey guys, welcome back to Gimpy's Painting Corner. I'm back with a little more painting for you guys. Today we are going to jump on some Blackstone Fortress Escalation, and we are going to do the servitor right there, the retinue character. So basically X101 servitor. We're going to jump on that guy. Got all the little paints set out that we're going to do. It might be similar to some of the videos I've done previously where I fast forward through parts of it, do a little rapid painting, and I'll talk through other portions. You guys just let me know what you prefer. Now, we're going to try something new here. First, though, I got a question for you all. Let me know if you've got a better recommendation of friggin' brushes. I ordered some brushes on Amazon, and sorry, I am zoomed in pretty well here, but I ordered some, extra detail brushes because I like to get new ones every now and then, and you guys can see by looking at those bristles that these just are not very good. I'm returning them. They are not good. There's maybe 1-2 brushes, excluding the flat ones, that are actually decent out of the whole bunch. The rest look really bad, and they're already like fraying out. And if they're fraying out in the box, then they're going to fray out, just period. So we're going to avoid that. But anyway, let's get on to our model. And we're going to try something, like I said, a little different. So we see we've got a washed out flesh tone for him. We've got some cloth looking material. We've got metal, which I'm going to do all the metal the same color to have it be a little easier. And we've got his yellow armor, all right? So not a huge selection of colors. I'm hoping to do this in one video, but we're trying some new paint because my brother has actually given me some suggestions for the videos because turns out he's been watching my painting videos here. Speaking of which, hi, Matt. Everyone in the comments say, hi, Matt, or Mongo as he goes by. I'm a twin brother, for those of you who don't know, so he's the bigger but lesser half of the duo. So imagine if you had two people and one of them was really awesome and one of them really wasn't. Awesome would be Gimpy, bad would be Mongo, right? Real easy to understand, like the movie Twins, right? And I love you, man, but I gotta rib you because I got a channel and you don't, so I got a voice. Yeah, but we are trying some contrast paints. This is new for me. You guys know I love my Army Painter stuff. I've been using it for a while. I think it's cost effective for how much you pay versus the quality that you get. But my brother is painting some stuff. He's painting some good stuff. And if he gives me permission, I'll post some pictures of some of the stuff he's painted while I'm talking about it here. But he's painted some really good looking stuff using these contrast paints. And I've seen some others who've painted some things, the very nice looking things with these contrast paints. And I'm like, okay, I got to try them out. So I sold a kidney. I donated some sperm. I went and did a few bounty hunting missions, anything that I could think of to raise the exorbitant funds that were required to get a few of these pots. Good God, these things are more expensive than anything. I wanted to get a red. I didn't get a red because they just didn't have it. But I got a brownish one, which is the Snakebite Leather. I got a greenish one, which is the Warp Lightning. I got this one, which is supposed to be camo, but I don't remember what color it showed above it. We'll see. It's Creed camo. I got this yellow for his yellow. So it's the Yandin, whatever the hell it's called, yellow. And then I got a Talisar blue. And I picked these up over the course of a period of time because they are so damn expensive. I mean, like, ungodly expensive. You can get one of these for maybe $3. And if you buy them in bulk, it costs less than that. These cost about $7 a pot. All right. That's just freaking ridiculous. For that amount, for this damn paint, the shit should paint itself, all right? I should just close my eyes and my model be painted, all right? Get to work, GW. I'm waiting. And what do you know? I still have to do the work myself, but we'll see if this crap works. But I did pick out these 3 colors to use on him. I was trying to get some stuff that would work with these other models I'm getting ready to do. They're, strangely enough, these things seem to sell pretty pretty well. They didn't have a whole lot. I still want to get a red, so at least I have the base colors covered. But we're going to use this for the cloth on him. We're going to use this for his yellow metal. We're going to use this for the tiny little bits of blue that are on there. And then the rest of it, the metal, is going to be Army Painter because they don't have metal and contrast paints that I know of. And I'm going to use Mummy Robes as his flesh tone because I was looking at it and the only light skin tone that I had was cobalt skin. And if you guys can see that, that is still too dark to be a real skin tone. So I decided I'd go with the Mummy Robes instead. I figured that would be a better bet. But I do need some suggestions for you guys because I'm going to start with his cloth. Will come just like you want to do with all your models. You want to work your inside way out. That way you can kind of touch up your mistakes as you go. All that other good stuff. I don't know exactly, do I put bearings in these? Do I just shake them up? I mean, how does this paint work? From what I've seen, I think people just dip directly into the pot and paint it on. So that's what I'm going to do. But if there's a better way to use contrast paints, by all means, definitely let me know in the comments. Because this, before I shook it up, you could tell there was like solid down here at the bottom of it, right? And I don't know. Do I stick a paintbrush in there and dig that stuff around? Do I put a ball bearing in there? Because your other paints, when they settle, you want to shake them up. I'm not sure how to treat a contrast paint. So we're just going to try this. And I'm really hoping this comes out well because I do not want to have to use my paint stripper to strip this model down to its base coat. Because this stuff strips so well. This right here, that is from the paint stripper, okay? A drop of it spilled on my little cutting mat here, and it took the white lines off the cutting mat. This thing will take anything off anything. I would not put that stuff like drip it on your car. It'll eat the paint off of it. But okay, let's get started here. And where's my layer brush? Yeah, because Mongo was giving me hell. He's like, you got to make sure and use your layer brush when you're doing your layering, and you got to use this when you're doing that. I didn't act like I'm a professional. I just paint to paint. I make it look good. That's it. That's the goal. I didn't know you need a specific brush for this, that, and the other. Okay, so this is going to be a greenish color. You guys can see right there, which I think will kind of work for us. Now, I know you're supposed to get a little bit up there in the top, and you're supposed to kind of dip down in there. And that's going to be the spot. Let's get our point back. All right. And this has kind of a blue tint, but that's got kind of a green tint. But I don't want to go brown with the snake bite, so we're going to make it green instead of blue. Let me shake it back up just a little bit. Get that paint back up there. All right, stay open for me, contrast. Thing just flicked itself closed. I'm so terrified. This shit's so expensive. It's like gold. You don't want to paint it. Oh, and I am going to try a new filming technique as well. Not filming, but editing technique. Magnification. See how that works for helping to let you guys see everything. Okay, so let's spread this around here. I don't know. It's supposed to get into the creases really well, and I mean, it's going on green, so I'm gonna give it that. All right, let's tuck her in there. And like I said, if I nick a spot here, spot there, we'll touch that up as we go along. And it seems like this stuff is almost like a wash and a paint mixed together, right? So you don't have to put in as much effort on your back end. I mean, and if it is that would be great, right? It looks like this is all that, all pants. But I can't tell for sure. And I don't want to just like coat this stuff on, but it looks like it's doing okay. I'll put a little bit more up here. Looks like I need a little more there on the front. I don't know. What do you guys think? Interesting. It looks like it's trying to pull into the recesses. So it's trying to do what you expect it to do. I don't know, I'm so skittish. I'm like a new kitten because I've never used this stuff before. If you've tried the contrast paints, by all means, let me know what you think of them, what your experiences have been, if you've had good results, if you haven't had good results, if you think it's too damn expensive, if you don't want to have to sell a kidney and mortgage your house just to get a few pots of the paint. Although, that's the thing with GW. They don't like making anything cost effective. Maybe it's because they're British. Because the British have that little bit of pompousness to them, right? They think they're a little bit better than everyone else because they're British. So maybe GW's like, yeah, we're British, so we can charge more. That's what it is. They are wrong because we beat them numerous times because we're American and we're awesome like that. And we don't lose. And I don't want to hear about others that we might have lost. We win. It's what we do. All right? And if we didn't win, we're just letting you think that. We're in a lull period. We're going to come back and finish up later. All right. I probably should have. See, some of the professional painters, they'll take and separate stuff out and they'll paint it in pieces and then glue the pieces together. I just do not have the time for that. That's required to put in that type of effort. It's just too much. Like I said, I will put in a lot more effort on a piece like this, like a main hero character, than I will on a troop. A guy who's just going to be cannon fodder type deal. I don't want to waste a whole lot on them. I want to hit them with a few main colors. I try to stick to 3. You guys actually be seeing that soon. I'm going to be painting some Dark Souls stuff that my brother's sending me, which, thanks by the way, manga. Appreciate that. And I'm going to keep painting them the way that I did, which was basically a quick primer for the whole thing. I would prime them in black and then I would dry brush some type of brown and then dry brush the skin color over whatever. Basically, it was a very, very fast paint job that came out looking okay. It allowed you to paint a lot of minis fairly quickly. Okay. What do you guys think of that contrast paint? How's that look? I gotta say, it's not bad. It's not freaking bad, man. It's got some interesting techniques with it. It really does get into those grooves and it leaves a lot more pigment down than I would have originally thought just looking at it. I gotta give it props for that. I was not expecting it to do that decent. All right, so give me a sec. I'm going to hit this into fast forward and we're going to hit the upper portion as well. Because remember, the camo goes all the way up, or the cloth goes all the way up. And then we've got our metal in yellow. All right, so that's where we're at. We've got a good chunk done. There's a few spots I'm going to touch up as we go, on later on with this, but We'll hit our yellow spots. Now, I'm kind of liking the contrast paints. And it doesn't take a lot, right? It really doesn't. It goes on fairly smooth. It gives you a decent look, and you don't have to use a whole bunch of paint. And this actually looks like that solid stuff mixed up pretty well. I don't think this is going to need bearings at all. Like, at all. All right, so we're going to hit the yellow. I have no idea how well this yellow is going to work. Yellow is usually pretty hard, pretty bad to get to work, but we'll see how we can get it to go. I did try to use a little bit of a smaller brush in some of these areas up here where it was kind of snug, so I didn't ding it up too much, but let's hit our yellow. There's a few spots I've got the picture set off to the side so I can glance at it as we're going. All right, come on. This is the first time I'm cracking this yellow. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look good? Little bit of contrast paint on it for us. Okay. Yeah, and this stuff, I think it's going to last like a while. So if it lasts a good long while, that could be a reason to stick with these contrast paints. Good grief, man. Look at this. That yellow actually stands out a little bit. I mean, anyone who's tried to paint minis before knows how hard it is to get a yellow to stick. Yellows just do not want to paint ever, and this is actually doing pretty damn well. Now, on theirs, it looks like they come back with metallic and get the base, but I don't think I'm that good. So I'm going to paint the whole toe yellow. And if I feel like I can come back and nick it with some metal to make it stand out, we'll do that. But we'll leave that up to the paint gods on how well it goes, on whether or not we do that. But I gotta say, this starting out, I'm feeling the contrast paints, right? I am having good effects with them. They're going on nice and strong, way stronger than I expected from what I had seen other people's effects with it. And it really is kind of like the more paint you apply. So if you want a deeper, richer effect and more things to stand out, or a brighter, darker color, whichever way you're going with, it's more or less paint that you're applying to it. So this is pretty neat stuff, I gotta say. I am relatively pleased with this contrast paint so far. Now, it is a touch more orange, I think, than I wanted that yellow to be, but it might lighten just a little bit. I'm trying to kind of push it around, smush it around a little bit, so it is not as orange, because it does kind of orange up in those recesses. But it does give you a washed look, without having to put all that effort into it. I really need to show you a picture of something my brother did. He can actually paint pretty decently for a dumbass. And he sent me some pictures of some stuff he painted. I think he entered a few things into Golden Demon. And I'm not anywhere to that level yet. I just like to have my stuff look like table ready. Table decent. If it meets that criteria, I'm happy with it. Like if a civilian walked in off the street and it's like, hey, that doesn't look half bad. I'm like, all right, I'm happy. I hit my my goal. But he has put in some serious effort on some of his pieces before. All right, so it looks like the centerpiece is yellow as well. And then I'm going to have to come back with some cloth in between there and miss that little spot. But we'll do that later. But all these pipes are metallic. So we'll just hit what we can. Ooh. this yellow is not painting over that green as well as I would like it to. That green is standing out kind of hard. I nicked it there in the center just a bit much. And I can see that I wouldn't expect the green to be washed out by that yellow, but I'm trying. I'm going to have to coat that pretty heavy. I might even have to hit it with a second coat to try to lighten that up just a little bit. So I'll go back to a yellow. I hate that little bit of green that's up there on it. That's not too bad. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting in the ballpark of it. This chest piece here is yellow. All right. I'm just going to paint the whole thing yellow and any of the metallic stuff. I can come back with metallic and it'll cover anything later on. I am a little worried about where these little green nicks were. There are a few of them that are a little heavy for my taste. Yeah, all those pipes are going to have to be gone over later right there. That's all going to get painted over with a metallic. But that's all right. Get a little bit faster on this. Because that was one of the things my brother was nagging me to. He's like, it takes you too long to paint something. I'm like, well, I'm meticulous. I don't want it to look like ass. Like, you might be happy with ass. I'm not happy with ass. I want my stuff to look good. And he called me a jerk. I called him a dumbass. And we go on with our lives. Anyone else have a twin brother? Feel free to put it down in the comments. But they are a pain in the butt, aren't they? Someone right by your side all the time, dressing like you, acting like you, people mistaking you for them. You get in trouble for crap they do. You get punched in the face for crap they do. And I'm not joking about that either. He got in a fight with a guy in middle school, and the guy came running up to me and punched me in the face and getting all indignant and mad and yelling at me. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know who you are. What the hell? Why are you beating my ass? And I didn't even get a chance to punch the guy back before the principal walks up and it's like, you two, come on, my office. Blah, blah, blah. We go walk into the office. The guy's talking shit, saying, yeah, you were saying you were going to beat my ass the past few days. Well, I got you first and blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I've been home sick. Like, I haven't even been to school in 2 days. He's like, don't give me that crap. Blah, blah, blah. Principal's like, you do realize he's got a twin brother, right? And he's like, really? Oh, I'm sorry, man. That was for your brother. Can you give it to him for me? I didn't mean to hit you. And then those effers end up becoming buddies and don't even fight later. So I got punched in the face, and that's all that happened. I don't remember that guy's name. Matt, if you watch this, or Mongo, if you watch this, what was that guy's name that punched me in the face that you ended up making friends with later on, who hurt your brother because you're a little piece of shit? All right. Let's see here. We got just this little top piece up here, supposed to be yellow as well. A lot of this is metallic, which will help because metallics cover real easy. And they're an easy thing to paint. You hit it with a dark wash, and it ends up coming out looking okay without a whole lot of effort on your part. I'm not really feeling this green as much as I was really feeling it at first, but it's too late to change it now. I just wanted to try that contrast paint so bad. And this is just a little thick. Kind of having a little problem getting it to just go in the recesses. Let me see if I can dry out my brush a little bit. Get some of that off. That's part of the problem. You cannot have too much on there. Otherwise, it'll make it look weird. Come on. Getting there. It seems like the contrast does a little better in spots that have more detail, and a little worse like here where it's supposed to be just the flat color. I'm having a hard time getting that flat color with it. Even wiping my brush off, I can't get it to suck that paint up. And it's not horrible. I mean, I'm going to hit it with a wash later anyway. So, and it's a servitor that's in the Blackstone Fortress, so it's supposed to look kind of beat up. And I don't think he's got any yellow on his back. I think this is all metallic. Those buttons are going to be blue. There's going to be a few other things of blue back here, but most of this is just going to be metallic and washed. So it's not going to be a hard paint job. I'm going to hit the skin tone on him and come back, maybe touch up a little bit of the yellow later. I don't know. I'm not feeling this one. It doesn't look near as good. You guys let me know what you think as the picture. I mean, it did okay, but it's just so orange and I'm not feeling it as much as I did at first. The green did a lot better, like just looks wise, than that yellow did. I think yellow is just a hard color to paint, just flat out. It just does not paint well. All right, give me a sec. We're going to paint his arm and his face, and I think that's the only skin that he actually has. And then we'll hit metallic on the rest of him, and he'll be close to done at that point, besides a wash. All right, so we're going to keep on going here. I did his arm and his head, and the mummy robe color just did not work too well. I added a tiny little drop of that cobalt skin color to it just to give it a touch of pigment because it was so pale it pretty much blended in with the white. But I think the flesh wash will help bring it out just a touch when we go in that direction. So now I'm just going to hit metallics over everything, pretty much everything else except for a few little detail pieces that will have maybe a touch of blue or stuff like that, because we're going to do a little blue up here for the light. Actually, I might need to do the blue on the light first so I can drag a little bit of metallic over that to do those lines. Yeah, okay, yeah. We'll hit that blue light part first. I think there's a little dot here on the back. Yeah, it shows a red dot back here somewhere. Oh, this tiny little circle right here. That's blue. But the rest of it's friggin' all metallic. It's like, all right, come on. I'm going to do that in like the blue, and we'll do these little buttons down here. Do those in blue too, just have them stand out, and we'll do the light. I'm not sure if this blue will work. It's Talisar blue. We'll have to see what it looks like. And then we'll have to put the metallic over pretty much everything else. So that's going to be a combination, a little bit of layering, a little bit of detailing. All right. This blue looks pretty blue. Hopefully that'll work for standing out for us. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I'm almost afraid that's going to be too bright on that light, but that's all right. He'll have a blue light. All right, big boy. Let's tuck her in there. Let's see how it looks. Those little pieces in there. All right, it's not too bad. Nice and light. And we're going to come back and, like I said, just hit the metallic right there over the top to make those little lines stand out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that effect. Gives it just a touch of a glow look. Man, I'll tell you what, I am wholly surprised at how strong these contrast paints are. I did not expect them to be that strong and to stand out that much. They really show up. And you wouldn't expect it, but they really do show up. All right, I'm just filling in those bottom ones because we're going to cover it up everything else with the metallic. Anyway, so just a few little blue dots. Just make stuff stand out. Now we'll hit the metallics. A little wash. And he should be good. Oh, I'm still not feeling that yellow, though. That yellow's just... I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good either. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I mean, it's better. I think it's better than the Army Painter yellow, to be honest with you. But I don't think it's that much better than the Army Painter yellow. So, I don't know. We'll see how it works. Let's hit our layers here of the metallics and the details, and we'll see how it looks when it all comes together. All right, so we're still working on it. We're getting there slowly but surely, hitting some of the metal pieces. He's coming together. I'm going to use more of a detail brush to get in here and some of the close-in areas where I've already touched. But I'm looking for a different brush to hit some of these bulk areas, so I'm not tearing up my layer brush. Mongo, I'm sure, would have an opinion about it, but opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. He's definitely got one. He's going to get mad if he watches this video because I've been talking a lot of shit about him. But that's the good part about having a twin brother. You always got someone you can rag on if you need it. I always got someone you can rag on. I'm going to tell you guys some good stories about us growing up together. We did some really dumb stuff growing up. He probably doesn't want me telling people. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Hey, Mongo, remember that story about that thing? Like, you don't want people to know about that, right? Well, what's that worth to you? Sounds about $100, sounds right? Is it illegal to blackmail your twin brother? I mean, I think the law cut you some slack on that, right? Since it is a twin brother and he got you punched in the face when you were younger. They call it even. All right, I'm just using this one to kind of broadly brush the metallic onto the big stuff like the gun and all this other stuff. And I'm going to come back with the detail brush and hit the smaller pieces here in just a sec. And speaking of painting, make sure you guys, if you don't know who he is, which y'all should because he's got a much bigger channel than I do anyway, but Rob's Tabletop World, make sure you check him out. Real good guy. Does a whole lot of stuff. He does painting, he does gaming, he does live games, he does recorded games, previews. I mean, he's like a one-stop shop. Covers a little bit of pretty much everything associated real big with miniature market. He's sponsored by them, so they definitely help him out, and that is awesome for him. Miniature market, fall in love with Gimpy, man. But yeah, seriously, check him out. And if you're into war games, make sure you check out my boys Mo from Mo's Game Table and Kev from the Big Board. A couple more of my buddies. I mean, there's so many channels out there nowadays. And it's amazing because the YouTube community is kind of like a small group, and you start making buddies with a lot of these people who are involved in the hobby, and it really is kind of like a family thing. You know, you get to know them. And the thing is like, I didn't understand this at first, but I get it now, right? Is people watch a YouTube video and they watch a whole bunch, and I dropped a brush hole, and they watch a whole bunch of your videos, right? And they listen to you talk about this subject, that subject, and they get to where they feel like they know you personally, right? Which, I mean, is cool. I did the same thing. I feel like I know some of the YouTubers that I watch because I've watched them. You've listened to them so much, so you feel like you know these people, right? And I remember going to some conventions, and people were running up and they're going, "Hey, Gimpy," and yada yada, and they're talking to me like we're old buddies, and I'm like, "Hey, it's great to meet you," you know. And it's always cool to meet someone who's actually watched the channel. That's like the most awesome thing ever, because it is a little bit of like a celebrity thing. You know, the first time I was recognized, I was like, okay, this is awesome. But it is kind of a thing where they feel like they know you personally, and you don't know them personally like that. So there's that little bit of a disconnect. But because YouTube community is close, it makes it to where, especially if you're watching their videos and they're watching your videos, that you already kind of feel like you got that connection with those people. So it makes like bonding with them and having a friendship and building a partnership a lot easier. Like me and Mo from his game table, we get along really, really well. And part of the reason we get along really well is we both served in the Marines, so that gave us something to bond over. And he was the guy that showed me around at my first convention and helped me get comfortable and acclimated, and just real good people, right? Good people. Oh, and I missed a yellow spot up here, but that is no big deal. Well, we will take care of that. All right, I know that's going to be silver, and that's going to be silver. And yeah, I think I'm going to hit all this silver except for that shoulder plate. Oh, it's going to be so many little spots I'm going to have to come back. I missed. But anyway, it makes it easier when you're making friends with these people, like especially YouTubers, because you already feel like you've got that connection with them, right? You've been watching them, you've been listening to them talk or their videos for a while, and if they've been doing the same to yours, then you both feel like you already know each other. Really kind of cool thing that YouTubers get when they buddy up or start working together. YouTube team up, kind of like Batman, Superman going at it. Although I would definitely be Superman. Mo would be like Robin. I'm not even gonna give him Batman. Mo's gonna be Robin. I'm picking Mo. I love you, buddy, but I gotta give you a little bit of hell. Just because it's a guy thing. Man, this thing is taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, but it's all right. We'll get there. We will get there. Not too bad. I mean, it's starting to come together. And now that some of those other colors are on there, it's making it to where that arm, the flesh tone, isn't standing out quite as bad as it was previously. So I'm liking that. And like I said, if you're a painter like me, because everyone cannot paint Golden Demon level, right? That's the thing, is that so many people, they want to paint like that. And I would love to be able to paint that well, but I can't. And I doubt I'll ever be to that level. Now, I learn techniques as much as I can, right? And that's what you got to do, right? You watch everybody, learn from this person, learn from that person, learn whatever you can, absolutely. But learn the tricks to kind of cover for your goofs, right? That's what part of my thing is I know I'm not going to be a perfect painter, but I want to get it to where it looks good on the table, especially since I do a lot of filming and I'm getting a lot more miniatures involved in my filming. I want it to look, decent. Someone will be like, okay, that's a decent paint job. It's not award winning or anything like that, but not something I'm ashamed to have on camera. And you can do that with certain little techniques that you use. Like I pointed out before that I use washes to help hide some of the mistakes that I make. And I think that definitely helps, because when I first got into painting and I didn't understand washes and dips and all that type of stuff, my old stuff is so bad. I showed it in some other videos. But a wash can help by, if you miss a little spot, like, okay, this spot right here in the center between those two lines, cables coming out of his chest, coming around back, if I forgot to come back and hit that with a green, well, if I hit it with a dark wash all over anyway, that's going to cover that up. That's going to take care of some of that. And I don't even know if I need to wash this, since the contrast paints do a fairly good job of giving it that look. So you almost don't need to wash it. I don't know. We'll wait and see how it looks at the end to determine. I always let the model decide. Sometimes you can get away with it. I had what is the guy's name? Oh, shit, I can't remember it. The robot from Blackstone Fortress. When I painted him, I was going to wash him, but he just looked so good with his paint scheme. I was like, screw it. The wash will just make him look dingy and washed out. So I ended up not using a wash on him. So let the model dictate it. More often than not, you're always going to use some type of a wash, unless you're doing a contrast or something else that's giving you those effects to accentuate the details. But on occasion, like with that robot, he had so many smooth surfaces that the wash would have just looked dirty. It just would have made him look dingy and not brought out enough to make it worth what I was doing. All right, so let's hit these little details around that circle. Not too bad, not too bad. And I'll probably come back and hit a detail here, detail there that I missed. Might end up having to do that off camera because this is taking me a little longer than I anticipated. But I'm trying so hard to get all this done in a single video. And I want to try to get it to where I can hit a miniature like this, like a detailed miniature, in an hour. Right? If I can get one of these guys painted in an hour, that means I can get a good chunk painted relatively quickly. I don't mind the cannon fodder, the troops looking worse because there are so many of them. You don't have to worry about them, stuff like that. I don't mind if they don't look perfect, but the main characters, I definitely want them to look as good as possible, as good as I can make them. So these named characters I will always spend just a little bit more time on and worry about those little detail pieces to make them stand out. This little circle here in the center, and the rest of these cables coming off of his chest. Right off here to the side. Yeah, and that yellow can be covered very well by this metallic, but it can't cover anything else. There we go. There we go. Not too bad. Okay. Let's get the bottom of his arm here. And I know, like, when I look back at it later, I'm going to find a metallic spot that I missed. I'm trying to hit it as quick as I can. And like I said, it's okay. You'll have little spots that you miss here and there. It's kind of like woodworking. When you look back at it later, you'll see your mistakes, but other people, they don't know. They don't know where your mistakes are. Only you know that. Don't let it ruin the piece for you. This is supposed to be relaxing, a little hobby. Produce something decent. You know, as long as you're having fun, you're relaxed, you're good, then it doesn't matter if it comes out perfect. You just got to have fun with it. Because if you're not having fun with it, what the hell are you doing? All right. And besides, I'm not British. I don't have to put in that kind of effort. You guys know who I'm talking about, that British guy that does the videos for GW because he's like a machine and can churn out stuff that's just gorgeous without trying. Although I'm sure he's got years of experience when it comes to painting. You don't get that good overnight. And he really does churn out some good stuff. I got to give it to him. All right, so let's see if we can hit those little surface pieces there. Just those little lines. Not washing out too much of that inner light. Yeah, I got it. Not perfect, but it gets the point across, which is the goal. Oh, I need some new brushes. These are on their last legs. I hate that those brushes came out so bad because I was ready to have some new ones. I can't afford to get really high-end brushes, so I try to get decent detail brushes that at least last me for a little while, so I don't have to spend a huge fortune on them. But if you guys have some good suggestions, feel free to put down in the comments what you've had good luck with over the past. I try to order them on Amazon when I can because I can get stuff in a couple of days. I'm going to return these and see if I can find another pack. But these had good review. Maybe I just got a bad box, but they were just looking so bad in there. I was like, screw that. I'm not keeping those. If they're already frayed now, that's just bad. They should not be frayed already before I've even pulled them out of the box. Put any effort onto them. Okay. All right, so that's where we're at. Not too bad. I mean, he's coming together. Honestly, I'm not feeling the green as much. The more I get done with him, the more I think I should have gone with maybe a light blue or a gray blue, something like that. It's not working for me. But I wanted to try the contrast. I tried the contrast. It worked pretty well. So we're going to stick with it. I mean, no need to change it up at this point. But it did not have the exact look I was going for. But I couldn't really tell by looking at the bottle. That's one of the things I don't like about those contrast paints. You can't tell by looking at it what color it's going to be. Because that yellow looks orange. Right? And I mean, the blue looks blue, but not much else looks like it. The snakebite leather looks like mud or, like dirty water. So that's hard to tell. I think the whole side of his face over here is metallic. So we'll paint that in, and we should be close to getting done on this homeboy. Close to it. All right, we're getting there. Oops, sorry, bumping the camera there, guys. Oh, don't color outside the line. Although, with it being a servitor, if I do a little bit, it's not a huge deal. It is not a huge deal. There we go. Okay, not looking too bad. Not looking too bad at all. Hit all that metallic and a dark wash. I got to figure out something to wash his skin with. Maybe a light. I don't want it to be brown because it'll just darken his skin tone, but I got to have those details stand out a little bit more. I don't know. I'll look at my washes to see what I've got. Something that's weak, maybe soft tone, but even that's just like a brown. If I could have like a gray wash, maybe I could water down the dark wash a little bit. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. We'll do it around his face and we'll see what happens. But we're going to hit that last shoulder pad that I missed and touch up that one little spot on his chest. And that should get us pretty well close. And I will wash him later after he dries. And I will put some pictures on screen for you guys so you can see what he looks like. Because I want to let him dry for a little bit before I do the wash on him on the specific spots. I say, I don't think it came out too bad. Not too bad at all. And I do like the contrast paints. They work better than I thought they would. They work really well. They stick. They get into those recesses. Even yellow looks yellow. This, I think, is me painting too much. I think I just used too much contrast paint now that I'm looking at it. Because this shoulder pad looks fine. Yeah, I think I just overloaded the brush a little bit and got that. So I might just go with that as a dingy, or I might come back later and hit it with some more and make it look like whatever. I don't know. But this shoulder pad's coming out much closer to what I wanted it to with a lighter hand. So I'm seeing that. It's just a learning thing, right? Learning how to use the contrast paints the right way. But now I want a whole bunch. Now I want a bunch of those contrast paints because they work pretty damn well. I got to give it to them. They are not bad at all. I mean, you can get a model done that looks decent, you know, table ready, and not a huge amount of time. It's not perfect, obviously, because I'm painting it, but it doesn't look bad, right? It doesn't look horrible there on the table. We're gonna touch a little bit of metallic right here on that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Okay, our little servitor does not look too bad. And like I said, I think this is going to come back out later with a wash. It looks like they did a little bit of blue right here. And I've got low battery. I've been recording for a while, so I got to stop. But you guys stay tuned. I will put some pictures up to show what his final effects are going to be. But word to the wise, light hand with the contrast paints. We have learned that with our first model. All right, that's going to be it for me. You guys take care. I will catch you in the next one.